We are hearing that Kyler Murray's presence is causing high anxiety, neurosis, if you will, for prospective coaches. Now, that's the back fence talk that has come out of the NFL's assembly, the conference in Mobile, Alabama, at the Senior Bowl, where a lot of these rumors originate from at the Senior Bowl. So Pro Football Network tells us that these whistle-carrying sideline heroes, masters of the X's and O's, do not want to be handcuffed to Kyler Murray. That's the report. Now, there has been a different report that has been trying to squash that. So you have conflicting, dueling banjos here. Someone is not telling the truth. So let us discuss the question. Are you going to go thumbs up or thumbs down to Kyler Murray hurting the efforts of the Cardinals to hire their preferred coach? So I am going 2 thumbs up. I got 2 thumbs up. My observations, you've got Suitcase, Chicken Wing, and Miss Cleo. And we will lock all of these things together, and we are going to make a cactus, which is right now what the Cardinals are sitting on, a prickly cactus. That's what they're sitting on. So, number 1. Number 1. The Cardinals right now are being haunted, and they deserve this. They deserve to be haunted for the incompetence they did as an organization. Now, I know the people that did it are all gone. Everyone that was involved in that just about has been let go, but they deserve the Arizona Cardinals to be haunted by this Kyler Murray contract. When I saw this headline, I color me shocked. I can't believe it. I'm baffled by this. Holy smokers. Unless I'm not. It is a teachable moment. Mistakes have consequences, and it should be a tough sell. Right? I know there's only 32 of these jobs, and everyone dreams of being an NFL coach. When you go into coaching, you're like, I can be an NFL head coach someday. But the good candidates, right? And let's separate the premier candidates from the run-of-the-mill candidates to the fringe candidates. The top candidate is reluctant to take this job. And that tells you what a garden gnome Kyler Murray happens to be. That it's a lose-lose situation. That Murray, in the eyes of the premier coaching candidate, is a suitcase. He's a suitcase filled with uranium. He's radioactive. It's an atomic nightmare. Bad attitude, check. Bad teammate, check. Rubs coaches the wrong way, check, check, check. He's a me guy, check. Generally uncoachable, check. His true passion, his true calling in life, video games, check. He checks all those boxes. Shout out Call of Duty. Now, making matters worse, the Arizona franchise knew this. They realized that they were making a terrible mistake, and they attempted to put a safety net in. It's like doing a high wire act, and you're like, I might fall. The wind is blowing here over Niagara Falls. I might want to put some kind of net down so at least I have some protection. And instead, he gawked, right? They tried. At the last minute, they briefly attempted to hold the fun-sized quarterback, Alligator Arms Murray, accountable. Force him to do the bare minimum by watching game tape for just a few hours a week, putting down the controller. And what did Kyler Murray do? He gawked. This is atrocious. This is like a war crime. And the guy's got zero self-awareness, right, about how bad that looked, because he's entitled and he lives in a bubble. And he was able to use the social media blowback, the Cardinals, the cowards that they are as an organization, they caved in, and they handed over even more power to little Napoleon, their quarterback, letting him neglect the playbook. And now here we are. They need a coach, and suddenly everyone's like, okay, we'll call you, don't call us. We're not that interested. We're not that into you. We'll put you in the friend zone is what we're going to do. All right, we'll be friends. Maybe in a couple years when this guy's done, we'll be good. All right, now, page 2. So what can the Cardinals do to fix everything that's gone haywire in this Kyler Murray contract snafu. So if you take a couple of steps back and you look at the big picture, you look out at the landscape here, they've got to swallow their medicine. As painful and as bad tasting as that is, and let the sands of the Arizona desert fall where they're going to fall. But the Cardinals they're knee deep right now in manure. Okay, they're in manure, and there is only one escape portal. There's only one. A trade. That's it. And even that would be a dicey proposition, but they have to find a way and to convince a team that's also filled with a bunch of dodo birds like the Texans or the Saints to take this albatross, Kyler Murray. The greater fool theory, right? Find the greater fool to take your problem off your roster. But since Kyler is injured right now, he's damaged, you can't get rid of him. Who exactly is going to you say every time I say you can't do something, it happens, but it's hard for me to imagine that Murray, who's going to miss probably half the season, if not more, next year, is going to be available in a trade and someone would take him. So that has to be off the table, you would think. So Kyler is like, he's essentially giving the franchise a WWF, old school, not WWE, WWF, old school style, cross-face chicken wing. In terms of long-term success in the near future, he has grabbed them by the chin, and he is attempting to separate the head from the body, from the rest of the body there. He's wrapped up. This team is wrapped up in knots with Kyler Murray, and that's just the deal. All right, final point. So how does this chapter play out for the Cardinals? So this is the part where I tell you that I am a distant relative of Nostradamus and friend of Nostradamus. But on this one, we reached out to the ghost of Miss Cleo, the all-knowing, all-powerful psychic hotline, Miss Cleo, who says that the Arizona coaching candidates deserve better. They deserve better. So here's what you expect. Place holder. Seat filler. Think of this like the Academy Awards. That used to be a big deal when people loved Hollywood and the glitz and glamour of the big screen and all that back in the day. And at the Academy Awards, where people actually used to watch that, they would put seat fillers in to make sure that anytime the camera panned all the celebrities in Hollywood, all the people, every seat was filled. For aesthetic reasons, it made for good TV. So the Cardinals, they need a seat filler. The Cardinals need a coach to come in so when they do an interview at halftime or before the game, the coach can talk and he can be on the sidelines there when they do the panning of the camera to the coach with the nervous look, with the play sheet in front of his face there. And whether or not they're good coaches is irrelevant. Like the possibilities that are out there that we're hearing are Brian Flores, who has an active NFL litigation against the league. And if the Cardinals hire Flores, it would be like, hey, let's hire him. I actually think Flores is an okay coach, but let's hire him because that'll screw his lawsuit. That'll torpedo his legal case because, like we hired this guy. I mean, and they go to court. Now, I think that case is going to end up in arbitration anyway, but if they did go to court, then Flores would have a tougher road to hoe, if you will. And that would be fun for our show because he's a drill sergeant style coach and Kyler Murray wants to be coddled. And so that would be good. But he's not an attractive name, Brian Flores, because, again, he's suing the NFL. Some of the other candidates, Vance Joseph, anybody who lives in Denver who likes the Broncos, you remember the Vance Joseph reign of terror over the Broncos for a couple of years, not that long ago. And somebody, I don't even know who this guy is, Mike Kafka from the Giants.
Who?
I don't know. I never heard of that guy, but apparently he's a candidate for the job. These are not more stimulating coaching candidates, is what I'm trying to tell you. So I absolutely buy the report that this is all a byproduct of Alligator Arms Kyler Murray and his influence. That it's hard. Everyone has an ego. I get it, especially professional athletes. To get to that level, you've got to be so full of yourself. You're an absolute a-hole. But there's different levels of a-hole. And Kyler Murray is like next level. Like he's at the very top of the a-hole spectrum. And that's the issue.